I think Doom 2016 and its sequel Eternal are bad games. More so Eternal than 2016. I hate these games, for everyone around me swears I should like them. So finally, I'm going to play them, get my thoughts together, and at the end of this video, I will be free. I will no longer have to think about this series, any of its sequels, or anything else. Before we get into the exact details of why I dislike these two titles, I would like to explain a slight bit of personal philosophy. I have almost no problem with just a bad game. Many bad games never had a lot of potential, so the fact they are bad is whatever to me. I like the game currently being shown. Crystal World. Nobody was excited for this. Nobody wanted this. No part of this game is unique or stylized. This is garbage. In comparison to Modern Doom, however, which has so much potential, so much ability to be good, so many aspects that are amazingly well done, and what infuriates me is how mediocre it still ends up being despite its qualities. Something that wastes its potential is what makes something truly awful. Look to games like Cube World, on-release No Man's Sky, or Evolve to see that. No Man's Sky is an especially fantastic example, as it is a game that with time has come to consummate its potential and become something truly beautiful. Something that uses its potential to the fullest and had a lot of potential to fill always results in the greatest games of all time. When I think of fully used potential, I think of games like Tunic or Bully or Nine Souls. Games that I really like and that make me very happy. Now to a set of games that make me unhappy. We're gonna focus on 2016 for now, and after I go over what I believe makes 2016 what it is, I'll be talking about Doom Eternal. Starting with a positive, I'd like to mention what is most obviously the most polished part of this entire game. You know him, you love him, everyone please welcome the Glory Kill system. This system has been talked about to death, and for absolutely good reason. It has a gore-heavy charm of how the enemies erupt into blood and viscera, yet it's slightly silly in how the enemies are so effortlessly thrown around or treated with an absolutely unneeded brutality. It's satisfying and fun as it's a reward for getting an enemy to low health. It regens your health, and it encourages something that's extremely important to this game, which is being in the thick of it. I think, optimally, the vision of this game is to hook the player into a divinity-fueled samsara of gore. Blood painting your view with the hues of a glorious sunset, standing upon a pile of corpses that you effortlessly tossed around as bags of blood, meat, and bone. Adrenaline charging your every action as you go into a pure flow state of death and murder, cleansing evil from this heinous world.
Oh, 360 Glory Kill.
Hit him with the brain breaker.
The Glory Kill system does so much to achieve that dream of what this game is supposed to feel like. And it is such a beautiful showing of the potential this game has. To make this system into what it is, it took people to dream it up, game designers to add incentive, animators fleshing out every last angle, and so much more than I could ever envision. This one system is the work of so many, and it is absolutely genius.
Shield guy, watch out!
Despite glory kills, the gameplay of 2016 is ironically what's most lacking in my eyes. Glory kills are sadly kind of the only thing that really draws me into this hyper-violent haven. Most fights boil down to this: scan what your enemies are, use the weapon that solves the most worrying situation at hand in the most efficient way, switch to the second best option when you run out of ammo. The strategy that is most effective against an enemy is usually fairly one-note. Sometimes it's go behind the enemy and press the shotgun button. Sometimes the enemy is far away, so you use a long-range option. Sometimes multiple weak enemies are grouped up, so you use the AoE weapon. It really is just pick a weapon and hold fire at the effective range while running around them. At the end of the day, the only intrinsic reason to switch your weapon is enemy plus ammo. The weapons don't do anything to affect each other, enemies don't have a bunch of weaknesses or specific ways of dealing with them, and many weapons stomp on the feet of others, sharing purposes which makes them feel more pointless. As an example, the shotgun and charge shot solve the exact same problem the super shotgun does, that being close range high damage to either a single target or very grouped up enemies, and use the exact same ammo pool. The shotgun's basic attack and its charge shot become much less useful the moment you pick up the super shotgun, something that is far modified by the mastery effect of being able to shoot twice, which makes 2 out of 3 features of the normal shotgun completely useless. The mastery effects in general are all over the place. going from making the weapon worse to making the gun game-breakingly overpowered. The mastery effects are just obscenely over the top in how powerful they are, and it makes the game incredibly unfair if you target specific ones. They also just aren't very fun to get. The easiest way to complete most of them is just when you see a group of weak enemies, you complete the challenge. Done and done. But back to how many weapons share features. I made a Venn diagram to showcase where and how they share features. Shotgun, super shotgun, pistol, and Gauss cannon are all high damage single target. Assault rifle, plasma rifle, and chain gun are all mid-range weapons. BFG and rockets are AoE, and then chainsaw is ammo. A lot of these weapons have secondary problems they solve as well, especially with the weapon mod system, but as a result, even more weapons also step over each other. The shotgun can become an extremely ammo-efficient RPG with the grenade mod, for example, which really just makes the problem even worse. By the end of the game, I really just used the Gauss cannon, super shotgun, and normal shotgun, as I had little reason to use anything else, especially since ammo is plentiful in this game.
Just use the pistol.
Just use the...
The game
You're
never tells
so
you to
right!
use another one.
Just use the pistol!
Just use the pistol. You're never forced to use another weapon, so you just don't for some reason, apparently.
There is one weapon that is especially a problem in this system. The pistol has infinite ammo, a long-range snipe move that while it starts off very slow, you can extremely quickly get weapon upgrades to fix that major issue. As a result, especially early game, you can solve many problems by just using the pistol and nothing else. If it has more health, hold charge and fire. If it's a basic grunt, punch it. If it's an imp, press normal fire until dead. Made much worse by the upgrades. The low damage, slow charge rate, slowed movement speed, and slow recovery is what holds this weapon back from being too useful. And its upgrades fix every single issue by a mile, making this thing incredibly good. And then there's the fucking mastery upgrade, which makes it so you can use only a few shots to kill strong enemies with a weapon made to be a weak last resort option. Not even mentioning this weapon has Pierce and I think minor AoE, but that could have just been the Pierce. Either way, that's stupid. This is a bad thing to have in the game. One of the few genuine improvements Doom Eternal made was removing this thing. A weapon having infinite ammo eliminates one of the two intrinsic reasons to switch weapons. And this thing isn't that weak in all honesty, so it can deal with many enemies, which vastly lowers the need to switch weapons for what is one of the most bland weapons in the game. In what I think is an already bland system of combat, this little pea shooter is a problem all on its own. I just especially hate the lower charge time upgrade. It could have been neat to use the charge shot, switch to another weapon, and then switch back when it regens, which would have effectively given it a type of soft ammo, where you can only use it when charged, but that quickly vanishes. Even not mentioning the guns, the only other effects on the gameplay that the player is in charge of are equipment, runes, and armor upgrades. The equipment consists of a regular grenade, which is fine and inoffensive, the hologram, which I do not even have footage of, but it's just a mid-distraction device, and the only slightly interesting one of the siphon grenade, which is weak but heals you. None of these are that cool and never become particularly relevant in combat. I mostly just forget about them because they don't change stuff up that much, although between equipment and the pistol, I'm inclined to say a zero ammo playthrough of this game would be shockingly easy on anything below the hardest difficulties. The runes range from who needs this to absolutely stupid broken. They're fine to switch up the gameplay, but many of them have so little impact that they don't matter. One in particular has too much impact to be good for the game, and the last few are the sweet spot of good but not broken while still making an impact. When it comes to things that change up the gameplay that the player doesn't control, we have the environment and the enemies themselves. The battle areas are usually 2 to 3 tiers for you to go up and down from, and after the midpoint of the game there's a power-up in basically every battle arena, which makes them feel even less unique as the power-ups aren't very interesting or creative. 2 of them make you kill more harder, 1 makes you invincible, 1 gives you a bunch of health and armor, and then the last one makes you fast, which is the only one I really enjoyed. It also makes the power-up suit upgrades by far the best ones. With how many power-ups you're getting, an AoE explosion, a full heal, and longer power-up times for only 6 points is kinda crazy past the midpoint. There are some interesting battle arenas. The Argent Tower Bridge, some of the portal ones are kinda cool. A few of them have an extreme amount of verticality which feels interesting to traverse, but most of the areas where you fight are extremely samey. The only real options are fight on the top part of the arena or the bottom part.
Oh wow, let me use my new chain gun ability. There's more enemies? They're still doing this shit? What? Another one! Oh my god.
The enemies themselves are semi-unique, although the enemy pool is fairly small, with some roles overlapping, there's an enemy reskin, and a few enemies that are just upgraded versions of a different one. Out of all the enemies in Doom, there are 3 bosses, 10 totally original enemies, 6 upgraded ones, and 1 reskin. Which that's not a whole lot for a roughly 10-hour gameplay experience. It's about 1 unique enemy per hour, not counting the bosses. The enemies are split into 5-ish categories. Rushdown, which is done by Pinky / Spectre, Hell Knight, and Skull. Range, which is done by Mancubus / Cyber Mancubus, Cacodemon, Possessed Soldier / Shield Soldier, Laser Dude, and the Flying Rocket Guy. Then there's the Single Summoner and Archvile. Then the basics in Grunt, the Grunt variant, and Engineers. And lastly, Baron of Hell and Imp, which I'm generously saying are mixed range / rushdown enemies. It's not exactly a crazy bunch of enemies, and the Archvile is really as unique as it gets. The only 2 real strategies you need to employ are either run at them or run around them. The bosses are also not great, well, very cinematic. They're all pushovers, with Hellguard and Cyberdemon hitting me less than 5 times, and the Cyber Mastermind only getting me to half health. Hellguard is just straight up boring, with the first phase being this dumb way to attack stuff that is almost never a great way to design a boss. Then the second phase is just 2 of them, but weaker, and they died too fast for it to matter at all. It's a shame because Hellguard is by far the coolest looking enemy in this game to me. As the game goes on, I do not feel like I'm improving or really switching up what I do. My strategy stays as shoot, run, kill, repeat, with no real need for creativity or trying stuff out to improve that strategy. There is a second kind of gameplay Doom tries to offer, which is exploration. To encourage exploration, they made it so getting secrets and finding stuff unlocks weapons early, gives you more weapon upgrade points, and most notably the Praetor armor pieces, Argent Energy, and Runes. There is some cool stuff to these secrets. I like picking up the little action figures and seeing Doom Guy give them a fist bump. I like the classic map secret levels, those are really cool to see, even if it's mostly just nostalgia bait. But so much of progression is locked behind exploration, with the fact you get weapon mods, you get runes, and you get Praetor armor pieces. So to make it easier, there's the map system which marks nearby secrets, but as a result, most secret finding in this game comes down to walking around, checking your map, seeing if there's an icon, fidgeting around to find it, and collecting it. Outside of the secret levels, I felt no meaningful kind of curiosity or joy from exploring around as everything was mapped for me. And sure, I could just not use the map, but then I'm missing out on weapon mods, armor upgrades, Argent Energy, and runes, all of which are very important.
Why is Samuel Hayden ore farming so hard?
Why not?
Kinda real.
I didn't have fun playing hide and seek to get this stuff, but also I felt like I had to because upgrades make a game more fun for me. It doesn't help that to balance this out, a lot of the Praetor piece upgrades felt rather meaningless. I seriously couldn't tell the difference before and after of any of the dexterity armor upgrades. The best ones seem to be the power-up extenders simply due to how much the game spawns power-ups in later levels, but maybe that's just because that's the only one I could see the difference of. The Argent Energy upgrades, while slow, did matter a lot, and then the runes range from being really whatever to insanely broken as I mentioned before. My favorite example being the Rich Get Richer, which gives you infinite normal weapon ammo if you have enough armor, so simply collect enough armor, use the Mastery Upgrade Chain Gun Mobile Turret, and...
So if I do- wait. Wait a minute. Hey, wait a second. This doesn't seem right.
Wait a minute.
Outside of gameplay, however, this game is a masterpiece. It has beautiful and varied environments, it's fantastically animated, it has a not crazy but serviceable story. If these elements were combined with better gameplay, I'd be in love. I loved looking at everything, from these giant bridges to huge towers to research facilities. They found a way to make Mars and Hell extremely varied as you traverse them. Excusing a few of the final missions, which all look incredibly samey. It's a shame, however, that these environments go from fine to traverse to not fun, with all falling off cliffs being insta-kills and so many waiting or doing nothing sections. During the Argent Tower missions, I was platforming for almost 4 total minutes with no demon fighting. And then there's multiple sections where you're just waiting for something to cycle so you can progress.
Fucking killing floor 2?
What?
No one likes
What
it.
happened?
Yeah,
What?
How did you die?
What?
What
Skill
happened?
issue.
I just blew up! I got so bored I died! Dies of cringe!
Dude, if you talk about any other game too long, you die.
Have fun walking back,
Ah.
The story is pretty simple. Samuel Hayden was trying to make a source of infinite clean energy from Hell. Olivia goes crazy and gets demons into Mars. You get the MacGuffin and charge it up, and then Olivia turns into a demon for you to kill. It's not fantastic, but it's cool enough, and allegedly the lore documents make the story way cooler, but I'm not going to put a bunch of effort into a little extra reward, so I'm not reading all of it. The main problem with the story is just exposition dumps. Samuel Hayden should not be doing 3-minute lore explanations. Constantly, he does multiple of these. There's like a 4-minute one during the second mission, and then you're in his office, and that's another 3 minutes, and he loves doing this stuff. The best part of the story is really the opening. It shows us our enemies, it shows us putting on the iconic suit, it shows how Doom Guy interacts with the world, and introduces us to Samuel Hayden. My only real problem with the story is the fact it ends on a cliffhanger, but generally it's fairly enjoyable to listen to Samuel Hayden and chase down Olivia. I also really enjoy how Hayden reacts to how Doom Guy interacts with everything, which is kind of the only characterization he gets in this game. Doom Guy doesn't treat things well, he smashes through things, treats bodies as items, he just cares about getting demons to kill to save humanity. And then the animations. God! The animations are just good. From how Doom Guy treats everything, to how you do glory kills, just all of the animations are good. Samuel Hayden moves in a natural and yet robotic fashion. Like, a few of the glory kills are a little lacking, but like, that's it. The animations are so beautiful, they're fantastic. Like, genuinely, they're amazing at all times. I want to now illustrate what I believe is the easiest way to understand what this game does well, and what it does wrong. A game is an interactive experience. I know, that's crazy, you may not believe me, but games are very unique in that way. The only things that even slightly copy this interactivity are choose your own adventure books and those weird movies where you can like choose different pathways for the story to go and stuff. As a result, especially in a movement shooter game like Doom, that interactivity should come before anything else. Interacting with the world, the choices you make in the moment-to-moment gameplay, the shooting should be the most fun and well-developed part. I feel like with Doom, however, the most developed parts are the environment and the animations, these complementary elements that no matter how cool they are, aren't the core gameplay experience. Doom, as a movement shooter, isn't doing a great job at being a movement shooter. It does a great job at having fantastic animation, cool world building, nice environment, strong art direction, but when it comes to the actual core gameplay, I feel almost nothing. That can all be fine depending on who you are, and I think in the way of a casual audience, this adherence to a simple gameplay loop that looks stunning might actually be the best way to do it. Doom is made in an inoffensive way that pleases the most people, and I think the most apt comparison is Mortal Kombat. Among hardcore fighting game fans, Mortal Kombat hasn't been the cream of the crop for a long time. I mean, just look at the MK1 Evo stats, but among casual fans it is popular because of how much it focuses on presentation. It's big, bold, has all these celebrity guests, these fantastically animated scenes of gore, but gameplay-wise, it is truly whatever. It isn't trying to be a gameplay-first experience, though, it is an experience that wants to be wowed at. The encouragement for interacting with it is so you can be shocked by how explosive and pretty and crazy it is. This is why the glory kill system is so good. It's the one point where this wow factor is perfectly mixed with gameplay. Equally proportioned amounts of holy fuck to I'm goated. It really does suck that each time I rip a demon in half, I can almost feel a spark of joy. I just don't feel properly rewarded, as I did not enjoy getting to the point where I smashed someone's skull open with my knee. But still, this is a very good system. It does everything it needs to. Now, how did Doom Eternal improve on all this? Did it improve itself in every way? Did it keep the positive qualities of its environments and story while ironing out the gameplay quirks? I will quickly warn, this half of the video will be more disorganized. I'd like to quickly go over what a good sequel looks like to me. A good sequel is either A. Shadow of War, a sequel that improves on every element of the last game, doesn't try anything drastically new and just wants to iron out and work on the ideas of the last game. Or B. Risk of Rain 2, a sequel that wants to keep the spirit and some ideas of the old game, but try a bunch of new things as well so they don't tread over too much old ground. I think Doom Eternal is trying to do the first one more than the second, and while it does improve some elements in its feverish chase to be something bigger and brighter, some of it burns out. The gameplay of Doom Eternal is an improvement. I feel more encouraged to use a variety of weapons due to the fact weapons have specific counters, like the Ballista doing more damage to flying enemies. There's also the weak point system to make fights feel more interactive. There's a ton of new and unique enemies, the battle arenas are much more fleshed out and complex. Especially with the new movement options, the worst weapons like the infinite pistol were taken out entirely and there's a more interesting complex equipment system. Not all of these things are as good as they could be. Like, the weak point system ends up boiling down to pulling out the precision bolt and shooting twice. But still, many enemies have more specific and cool weaknesses. The cacodemons need to be fed grenades, shields can be countered with plasma, armor on the cybermancubus is knocked off with a blood punch. The enemies are also mostly pretty fun to fight, with the only real exception being the Marauder, but I'm willing to admit maybe I missed something about fighting him. The gameplay does start to falter near the end, simply due to leaning back into enemy spam, but for the most part the gameplay is fairly fun, even if it has problems. The bosses are also still all pretty lame, sadly. Icon of Sin might have been fun if it wasn't for the fact I had 36 lives. The problem with this game is that outside of the gameplay, almost everything else is worse now. A bunch of new problems, and some problems are fixed in a very lazy way. Environments are a little all over the place in Doom Eternal. In 2016, all the environments felt like they tied together cleanly and made sense. Most of them happened on Mars or in Hell. You were quite literally just moving through a facility for most of the game. This facility has a lot of varied and cool areas. Some are more office-like, others are more technological, some are more satanic, some are more scientific, and you can see how the demons have affected this place really well. The environments in Doom Eternal feel really disconnected and video gamey, where in 2016 a lot of them felt kinda realistic. In Eternal, they have so many quirks that feel like they're just there for the sake of a game. The environments are so all over the place that it almost feels overwhelming. There's Norse fantasy, to a boring bland hell, to a destroyed Earth, to a snowy cultist base, to a sci-fi spaceship. It feels like a lot to take in all these multifaceted and all-over-the-place settings. There's no real strong story to support why, where, or how. Most of the time, Doom Guy goes to a place to get the special thing or kill a guy just because a spaceship has a portal. The only time everything feels connected is at the end of the game, where it's just prep to kill or chasing down the Icon of Sin. The worst thing, however, is how these environments really just feel like a stack of set pieces. I'm walking through a huge hell castle, suddenly I'm in a bunch of destroyed buildings, suddenly there's dead giants, suddenly I see just so many things, which makes all these set pieces feel so much less special. A few missions, however, are fantastic exceptions, such as the Ark Complex, which feels like a fairly realistic, albeit destroyed place. It has occasional set pieces, like a plane crash through a building or these massive turrets, but a lot of the time it's walking through these destroyed office hallways and buildings. It feels cool, connected, and real. Compared to Ark Complex, there's the levels Cultist Base, and then Hell on Earth and Exaltia. Cultist Base isn't filled with set pieces, but it does make little sense. Random jump pads scattered about, depth charges placed randomly, seemingly useless in repeated rooms. I'm not sure if this is a research base turned place of worship, a labyrinth to defeat Doom Guy, or some kind of torture facility. I have no clue what is happening in this place or why it is from looking at it. Then Hell on Earth and Exaltia illustrate my other problems with the environment, being that they feel like a stack of set pieces. 1 second, Hell Castle. Next, abandoned apartment complex. Next, mutated subway. There's giants on the horizon. This seems to be the only remaining piece of land, with everything else sunk into the ground. Then, in Exaltia, there's all these dead giant demons, Doom Guy mechas, a huge teleporter, a throne room. It just doesn't feel like a place. It feels like someone wrote cool on a chalkboard and then did an idea bubble from there. Doom Eternal in general has this very weird retro look to it that I absolutely hate. Every single new weapon you get is floating with this weird green glow. Comparing this to 2016, the footage speaks for itself. You go to a place where you might find this weapon and pick it up, usually from a dead body or something. It feels really realistic, which matches the art style and tone. Doom Eternal wants to be so retro. It has one-ups which weren't even in the original Doom. These giant weird question mark secrets, cheat codes. All your upgrades are these weird glowing markers, and none of this is realistic to the original Doom. They want to replicate something that never existed, and they want to have this hyper-realistic, gory sci-fi world at the same time as this dumb retro video game aesthetic, and it just looks bad and takes me out of the game. This immersion-breaking retro style is like a 30-year-old wine mom trying to pretend she's the right age for a high school beauty pageant, trying to act cute and quirky, but failing. Now is a good time to talk about contrast. Contrast is incredibly important. Contrast can make or break a game, a movie, an album, a book, a show, literally anything. Contrast is most often seen in comedy horror movies and romantic comedy movies. For a horror comedy, being silly and joking breaks up the intense horror which brings the viewer's guard down. For rom-coms, being silly and joking gives way to joyous and sentimental moments. And as strong of a tool as contrast can be for setting up the viewer's expectations or emotions for a big moment, it's also not hard to screw up. For Doom, it tries to contrast being retro with stuff like glowing green gun pickups, being kind of silly with glory kills and stuff like Doom Guy owning 3 different weird guitars, and being hyper-realistically gory with how much everything disintegrates into red mist and how everything is coated in gore. These three elements aren't properly balanced or paced, however, so it just kind of feels out of nowhere and surprising rather than fun or heightening my emotions. The most insane way this retro style contrasts with the hyper-realistic violence is the 1-up system. By the start of the final mission, I had 36 1-ups. The way the 1-ups work is when you die in a combat encounter, you are revived on the spot. I would have to be killed 36 times in one fight to lose the fight. That's obscene. Like, if it was one per mission you could find, it'd maybe be okay. But you get these things more often than you get into big fights where you might die. Due to this one system alone, fights ended up being boring just because I knew there's no way to fuck up bad enough to waste them all. The challenge of this game is a reflection of that hyper-violence. The 1-ups are a reflection of this shitty, so retro style, and they just don't mix. And the rad suit. Fuck the rad suit. The pickup looks dumb and retro. The gimmick isn't even fun. This is something only a third-rate game designer with a fourth-rate gimmick would do. Why is there a radiation suit on the fucking Sentinel Doomguy planet? God, the punching in this game too. It takes over a dozen punches on normal difficulty to set a normal enemy into glory kill range. In 2016, one punch against a basic grunt sets them to glory kill range. It feels great to punch and bash and slam and crunch through a wave of weaker enemies or use the punch as a combo finisher. The only reason punching is nerfed is because of the new blood punch mechanic, which is just another melee option to gain health like the glory kills, except it feels a quarter as cool. Speaking of melee, this lame-ass sword has some of the worst animations I've ever seen. Doomguy looks like he's just swaying around a fucking laser pointer. This stupid sword is hyped up for a whole mission to be nothing. And the super shotgun. It was my favorite weapon in 2016, but now it just lacks any reasonable oomph. I don't even know what they changed, but it feels weak and pathetic. They attached a grappling hook to a shotgun. That should be an easy win. That should be the coolest weapon in the series by a mile. Hell, the grappling hook is pretty fun, but the shotgun feels so much worse. And the Fortress of Doom is so confusing to walk around, it's so interlaced, and has these stupid doors that take forever to open, and stupid battery animations take like 10 seconds to play, and you have to watch over a dozen times, and the stupid lightning effect, and I need to relax, just 1 second.
Why didn't he just do that when he took it from the guy?
I don't know. Each demon costs 1 pip.
That's fucking insane.
Oh my god! No way! There's no way, dude!
There's no fucking way.
Dude.
That was the worst animation.
Do it again. Oh!
It's so bad.
Oh my lord!
No way.
People like this game.
Okay, let's focus on some more real problems again. The story of this game is kind of a total mess. The game doesn't explain anything to you outside of Conmaker bad, kill hell priests. The Templar guys are evil. I think all of them, but I'm not sure. The Doom guy made a mistake once upon a time. From what I hear, King Novik, the Resistance, the Hell Priests, Conmaker, the Sentinels, What a Slayers, and so much more is explained in the lore pages. I do not wish to collect his pages. I want to kill demons.
Oh my god, it's part 6! It would never be part 7. It would never be part 7.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh my god!
In a game like this, there should be a simple, basic, easy-to-follow main plot, and then a side plot you can get through reading lore documents. A great example is Ultrakill. The main plot is mankind is dead, hell is full, blood is fuel, alongside Gabriel's plot of having a crisis of faith and killing the Council. If you want more lore, though, you can read enemy descriptions and get a much more full idea of this huge world. But all of that is just world building. You don't need it to understand the main plot. Also, Doomguy, talks for some reason.
Guts. Huge guts.
What?
Kill them.
He learned to speak?
Must.
This is awful.
Them all.
Hello everyone, this is my very first post-editing clip. This is unscripted. But I found out these lines are actually a reference to a comic. There's a Doom comic made way back when that's covering a vague plot of the first Doom game. But this is a parody joke comic. Like, all of the lines are dumb and silly, and it's, like, really cheesy and over the top. If you like Doom, by the way, you should read this. It's a really good time. But, it doesn't make any sense to use these lines where they're getting used. If you want to do a reference, it should make some sort of sense in context. This is like a serious story moment. I shouldn't be laughing at stupid, funny caveman Doom guy speak. It doesn't sound very good to the point of Bonus being unable to stop making caveman Doom guy jokes for like an hour of recording straight, and eventually their throat hurt so bad they had to leave. There's also this like mortally challenged joke the game won't shut up about.
Attention, all mortally challenged personnel. The Slayer is inside the facility. Please proceed with aggression.
Don't care.
All mortally challenged personnel, please be advised.
Remember, demon can be
Shut the fuck up.
refer to them as mortally challenged.
Yes, you're the funniest person in the world. I get it. Can you shut up about it for 2 seconds? The mortally challenged. Oh my god, that line makes me so angry. I'm gonna kill you. I cannot tell what this game's message is supposed to be. It's clearly trying to parody this over-friendly consumerism as a face for a demon invasion, but then does this mortally challenged stuff imply the demon is like woke? Or is it meant to represent rainbow capitalism? Is it trying to make fun of capitalism or religion or woke? If it's trying to do the first two, it's doing a bad job, and if it's trying to do the third, then the people who made this game are fucking stupid. Before someone says, actually, the story writer Matej Globenstaff said the story is this. If the story can be reasonably interpreted in a way where I get the message as woke bad, then there is a problem.
Earth is the melting pot of the universe.
While going through the missions, there's the upgrades, which remain mostly the same, with the main change being how they're positioned. They're placed in incredibly obvious and hard to miss spots, much more often to make sure the player's at least kind of upgraded. Pretty much every rune is placed directly in your path, and many of the crystal upgrades are incredibly in your face, along with a good chunk of the Praetor tokens. All the secret stuff in this game, besides the toys and the cheat codes, barely feels like a secret. This is even worse with the fact very early on you can get an upgrade that shows you exactly where every single secret item is. So it really does just become walk around and occasionally check your map again. Man, the graphic for the micro missiles is so much worse. Instead of being like 6 like bars charging up, it's just, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me.
Is there anything in this game that does it for you? I really don't think there is.
No, not really.
I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't do it for me. It's just like a given at this point.
Yeah. On the topic of upgrades, the weapon mod upgrades in this game are way worse. Most of them just make reloading better in some fancy way. A few actually had a cool feature, but most of them are boring. The mastery upgrade system has gone a little sideways. I appreciate weapons being less broken, but it feels like much less of a strategic choice of which you'll go for with the new mastery tokens, which just give you the upgrade for free. And the challenges feel fairly unreasonable to complete within the camp. Come on, another pop-up!
Oh, then he... Oh, there we go!
Oh, no!
Oh, there's I thought we were safe!
For a second, right? These fucking tutorials, man, they suck so bad. Not only are some of the tutorials lacking, like the chainsaw tutorial not telling you how the fuel mechanic works on bigger enemies or how some enemies are immune to it, but there's multiple tutorial pop-ups for every mission for the whole game. This game constantly has to tell you how to beat enemies, what weapons do, how to handle this boss, what tools are most effective. It gives you multiple pop-ups to use upgrade points and batteries, and gosh, it is overwhelming how often the game feels like it needs to tug me along, and really annoying. While recording, I split things into clips, and then I label each clip, and half of the clip labeling for this game is just me labeling a clip tutorial. One of the last tutorials in this entire game gives you the divine knowledge that, shockingly, headshots deal extra damage. Insane! I know this pop-up is in the context of a weakness, but from their giant glowing dome, I think I can figure out where to shoot.
Oh, why
Why
did
is
they
it-
just make it fall? Do you Doom guy not know how to swim?
I know this entire section sounded like a lot of annoyed complaining and meandering and rage about Doom Eternal, and it is. The reason I hate this game so much is because everyone insists I should love it. Everyone thinks that I, as a movement shooter player, should love it. As a Titanfall player, I should love it. Tons of memes about how Ultra Kill and Doom players are basically a Venn diagram of people. So many people telling me I should play the game. How many telling me I just don't get it? How many telling me I just need to try it again? These games are not even close to the beauty of Titanfall 2 and Ultra Kill, and it's finally time for me to explain why. Titanfall 2 is pretty simple as far as movement shooters go, but what are its greatest strengths? It has a fantastic single-player campaign that's fun, introduces me to loads of characters and mechanics, and a damn good story with some insanely cool moments. It has dozens of fun weapons, tools, and titans that feel mostly unique and different to use, amplifying different playstyles and giving you many ways to experience the game. The titans do exactly what the glory kill system does. It's a reward for playing well that combines the tenets of holy fuck and I'm goated into one. You pilot a giant customized mecha around, crushing pathetic AI bots, destroying foolish pilots, and wrecking other mechs. There's also the different maps. The base movement tools in this game are very simple. You get a double jump, slide, a wall run, and a climb. With that, the game has a ton of maps, with different levels of verticality, sightlines, and tons of areas to encourage different playstyles. The maps are honestly maybe the true highlight of this game, as they all make the combat so fun and unique every time. Doom has nothing on this level of movement, on this level of game design, on this level of story, or this level of gameplay variety. Then there's Ultrakill, the game everyone and their mother has said is just like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. Gameplay-wise, Ultrakill has more enemies with more variety than 2016 and Eternal, but the biggest strength of this game is actually weapon variety. On the surface, this game has less weapons with less variety, but if you look a little deeper, every single one of these weapons has a strong sense of purpose because they can combine. The closest you get to weapon effects combining in Eternal is quick-swapping weapons and stun/falter effects. In Ultrakill, every single weapon combines with the other tools to create some insanely in-depth combat that Doom has no fucking chance of matching. This one video on the conduction mechanic in Ultrakill has more complexity than the entire weapon system of Doom Eternal. There's plenty of awesome enemy weaknesses in this game as well. Most enemies have some sort of strategy to handle them easily, or you have to combine a number of ways to deal with them in a way that feels really fun and unique. This game also has a much better told story, incredibly varied environments like Doom Eternal, but they're all connected in a fairly smooth manner. It has much more engaging and interesting bosses for the most part. Its secrets are fun to collect without feeling like they're necessary to my core gameplay experience. P-ranks are some of the most fun I've had in any game ever. The amount of tech in this game is frankly mind-blowing, and I'm still not close to mastering it all, despite the fact I've walked my miles in this game. The movement and battle arenas are very fun and just so much more. Doom is nothing. Doom has nothing. Titanfall and Ultrakill blow it out of the water in a million different ways. This entire video is a way for me to throw this stupid game franchise away forever. To cast it into the fires of Mount Doom, where I will never have to think about it again. Where I will have all my thoughts sorted and done. I have hated this game for a long while, but unlike most games I dislike, I can't just refuse to play it as my solution. I need to fully justify how much I dislike it. I need to establish why I hate this game. I need to make other people see the problem, or everyone will just keep telling me I played it wrong or I need to try again. I don't care if I changed your opinion. I do care if you dislike this game too and needed a way to justify it. And I do care that I can finally rid myself of Doom's shitty reboots.
You would not believe your eyes if 10 million fireflies lit up the world as I fell asleep.